Welcome back. I'm Mirakle, Monique.
I'm Alan J.
And welcome to the Conscious Outlet Podcast. Thanks for joining. Make sure you like the video.
Like for the algorithm.
Okay. Get those subscriptions up. Right? Subscriptions?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Get them
Subscribe.
subs right.
Exactly.
And I ain't talking about
subs. We just got done discussing diet culture and how it pertains to our view on our health and especially our personal health. Because there's a health epidemic going on right now and we got to talk about it. So, but now we're going to be discussing something a little more controversial, I guess.
Yes, we need some controversy.
Yeah.
I like controversy.
I bet. We're going to be discussing if obesity is a choice.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. What do you think initially?
Yeah, of course, everything is a choice. Obesity, you can be skinny, you can be pleasantly plump, and it's really just on you wanting, just you really wanting it. Like, hey, do I want to live a long time as much as I can? Because I was talking to this one guy, and it surprised me, because he was like always like hawking, like if you all know what I'm talking about, like they had like some coal in their throat and stuff all the time. And I'm like, I said, hey man, I said, man, just get it out. He was like, what you mean? I was like, you always like I said, man, you got it like right there. Just get it out. He was like, well, that's a family thing or whatever. I said, well, man, I said, that might be like a problem that your body is showing you that you probably need to get it situated. And he was like, if I die, I die. He was like, it's okay. I mean, I'm like, so if you can prevent it, you telling me that you would not address that issue? And that's the thing when I said that people can be so blinded and ignorant in their own knowledge that they will create their own demise. And so you can't help everybody. And I ain't trying to help everybody. You either coming or not, because you definitely can't follow a car that ain't moving. So
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, for me, obesity for the most part is a choice. And there's a lot of factors in it that make me come to that conclusion. A lot of it stems from ignorance of one's body, ignorance of health in general, ignorance of what's good for your body, and a lot of misinformation out there as well about what you can do to prevent things. But I do think for the most part, obesity is something that you can and should address if that is a problem for you. What is your question?
Oh, you see how she just, what is your question?
Because I'm already talking too much.
You good.
What's up?
All right, I need you to tighten on up now.
Don't do that on air.
But I was going to ask you that, do you think that we're not as much in tune with our body, mind, and spirit, and that's one reason that we've been driven every which way, depending on what guru a person comes out of, like us actually being able to meditate in that avatar state, so we can listen to those subtle things, so we can be able to make whatever choices and decisions that we make, what we should put in our bodies, what we should read, what we should not listen to, basically all the things that we consume. So I just wanted to see, what do you think? You think that we're not as much as in tune?
Yes, I agree. Yes, I agree. I agree we're not in tune like we should be. And that's a lot of the reason for that is because we become disconnected with everything in recent years, as far as with each other, with our own bodies. Technology plays a huge role in that, and it's just one of those things where we really got to be intentional about coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So as it pertains to if obesity is a choice, I wanted us to kind of watch a little bit of this video where a doctor is reacting to a debate of people who are actually talking about this very topic. And I kind of wanted to get your input on it.
It's going to be a worthwhile watch. Let's get started.
Being fat or skinny is a choice.
This is a very polarizing question. I think it's a false dichotomy. I don't think you have to say it's one thing or another. But their community seems to say that it's not a choice. So that's interesting.
Being skinny or being fat is about willpower, who you choose to associate with, what sort of things you choose to listen to, who you choose to kind of have as your friends around you and support you. All of those things are choices that you can make.
Yeah, and you could easily point it in the other direction and talk about the genetic components, the importance of those who raised you, and how they taught you to think about food, the way that the frontal lobe developed when you were a child, meaning that if you had higher exposure to fatty foods growing up or unhealthy foods or ultra-processed foods, you may have a preference for that. It's not as simple as just this choice.
Even with the genetics that cause you to want.
So what do you think about that? The doctor basically just explained that there are a lot of factors that can contribute to obesity that aren't always particularly our choice, from our environment to the way our brain develops and other things. So what do you think?
Yeah. Nature versus nurture. I truly believe that because you got to think about it, our bodies and our mind and everything, especially as a kid and child, all we do is consume. We are a informational magnet. And so as a younger kid, if you are consuming not just fatty foods, but you're consuming negative things, it's going to eventually affect you in your relationships in the future. It's going to affect your mental health. And that in itself is a whole nother hemisphere when we're talking about like the epidemic even in mental health, but right now we're talking about just like your physical health and how it is affecting you in so many ways, but it's based on the culture and the philosophy that has been taught to you, but not also taught to you that you've been kind of indoctrinated to it. And so fried chicken and green beans and cornbread and mac and cheese was considered a good meal in my family. Like, man,
Still
this is good food. Yes, it tastes good, but it's not the best thing because there's so many trans fat, it's grease, it's a whole bunch of things that our body, I would say, if you go back to like Adam and Eve in the garden, I'm quite sure, and eventually I give you all a fact check or whatever, but a lot of it was probably a plant-based thing because it's a garden, and that's what Adam had to tend to, and so our bodies have adapted, but it can only do so much, and we're overeating. I know that we're overeating. Even my grandmother, I love her so much. She feels like she has to have a full meal every day, even for breakfast. And like my mom and I, we're slowly trying to get her from out of that mindset because it is affecting her health and also it affects her mind. Just like one of my grandfathers, he has dementia now, and he's been getting those quote unquote good meals ever since he was probably 7 years old. That same thing of all the, yes, sweet potato is good for you, but how you process it of sugar,
That
cinnamon,
matters.
blah, 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 all of that. And we consume that over time. we don't, actually have physical health, because the word does say, hey, physical health is of, good benefit, but that's only part of it, which leads to the spiritual, the mental, and all of that. And so I think we have to get to the point to where that we start to embrace discipline in what we consume, even from a media standpoint, and not get caught up in the things that are alluring. So you have this person who is pretty well known on social media, and they say, hey, do this, doing that may be good for them. And you all got to realize this is social media. And so a lot of stuff is for show. Some things are for show. A lot of these TikTok people, I've known people who actually look like they got it all together, and the person who going to go put internet in somebody's house, they find out doctors and lawyers, they don't even got furniture in this big nice crib that they got. So I'm just saying that just be careful of what you are consuming in that little pyramid of all the things that you got to consume in order to actually be healthy as a person overall. So
yeah, I can agree with that, because as the doctor was speaking, I was thinking to myself, well, those factors shouldn't be reasons for you to not be able to make a change in your life. I think it's important to be aware of what could possibly be stacked against you and move off of that, basically. Like, for example, I know that the women in my family, we tend to get fibroids and things of that nature. And because I know that, I do specific things in my diet to prevent that from affecting my fertility in the future for when I want kids and things of that nature. So, especially because I'll be passing this knowledge on to my future daughter or daughters. So, want to make sure she has that information as well.
Men, make sure that y'all just listen to what she just said. So she's preparing herself. So like whenever she have kids, that she be able to put herself in the best possible position. We tend to think that I was watching something. We tend to think that it's just like the female, that, hey, if a miscarriage happens, it's on her. No, it's actually on us and what we consume. If you're heavy drinking alcohol and all of that stuff.
As a man, yes. As a man, I'm saying alcohol and eating all of this stuff. And, we all see the increase in with autism and just a whole bunch of things that was kind of uncommon, I would say, back then or whatever, or at least it definitely seemed more uncommon. It's getting, I think autism rose I think it was 43% or whatever that I think I was reading something. That's alarming, because why?
Yeah. Exactly. And then, like I said, what we consuming, we so used to getting our phone and then scrolling to the next thing, What you doing is training yourself to only to not even pay attention to things that's over 10 seconds. Or, I read something is like people don't their attention goes away after reading something that has 125 characters. That's not a lot.
No, it's like 2 sentences.
Yes.
2 full sentences.
Come on with it. Look at you.
But yeah, I completely agree. Let's watch a little bit more of the video.
Eat more. The same solution is calories in, calories out.
The calories in, calories out thing is true. But then there needs to be a little bit of nuance here. And that nuance is certain calories will lead you to metabolize foods differently. Certain calories will lead you to want to consume more or less of a certain food. And certain calories can be unhealthy for you for other reasons other than your weight. This is why we're always against starvation diets or heavily restrictive diets on the channel because in many instances they actually create more problems like eating disorders, disordered eating, unhealthy habits, etc.
I was supposed to get blood tested probably when I was very.
Yeah, I didn't realize that when I was growing up, my understanding of a calorie was that calories are calories. You know, like it didn't really, yes, I knew certain foods were probably healthier than other foods, but I thought in general, it's like the saying, it all, what they say? When you eat like a bunch of gross stuff and they're like, well, it all ends up in the same place, something like that.
Yeah.
I always think that way about calories. And so he taught me something just then where, you know, certain calories make you metabolize different foods differently. I didn't realize that. It's like I knew that, but I didn't make the connection. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So
young, and I never did. And they had mentioned that it could have been because of my weight and how that connects with my thyroid. And I never had like that leaning parent to be like, go and get checked out, go and do this. Like your weight is probably not your fault. It was always like your weight is your fault, so that's your issue.
That's an unhealthy mindset. If I have a patient that has not been worked up for a thyroid condition, for other reasons why someone may be carrying excess weight, we absolutely would check those things. If you have low thyroid hormone, we can give you thyroid hormone to boost those levels up.
I mean, I also struggle with, thyroid and my own blood issues. I'm not quite sure, but I do see an endocrinologist, and I go see a doctor.
And that's not available to everyone in the United States, especially those who don't have health insurance or are underinsured. And some people are insured, don't have adequate transportation, or they don't have paid time off from work.
As a disabled woman, I can't do a lot of the things that people say calories in, calories out. Oh, you gotta go work out and exert it. I have to navigate weight differently. I have to look at it differently. My weight is the way it is because of medication, because doctors put me in this position.
This is why the false dichotomy pops up in my head. If you're going to be very stringent in saying being overweight is a choice, full on, you're neglecting a significant part of the population who may be having a side effect of a medication, because there's many medications that we can put patients on to protect their health that as an unwanted side effect they put on weight, or they're unable to lose weight as easily. And then there's those with disabilities that can't burn calories as easily as some who are able-bodied. So I think probably even a better conversation to be had here is obesity a disease? The AMA and all the major organizations have made it a disease process. They've labeled it a disease. The doctors who are saying that that's not helpful are usually pointing out that when a patient feels obesity a disease, they feel powerless to make the change. The way that I like to think about it is on a population level, it's certainly a disease because it affects our bodies negatively. It's certainly contributing to a public health epidemic. It's actually happening pandemic really across the world, obesity. On an individual level, we need to have providers who have good relationships with their patients to make the call. Is this something that I can present to my patient as a choice that will get them motivated? Or is this something that we can help them navigate through a medical perspective, where we can give them medication, surgeries, maybe lifestyle modifications if they are going to be motivated to it, and make that call on an individual level. But again, all medicine is practiced on population-based information and the research that we have there. And then we as providers have to look at our patients as individuals and apply that knowledge. So I still think on a population level it is a disease. And then how we attribute it to each patient and how we help each patient navigate their condition, that's going to be different. And that's okay.
I would rather be skinny than fat.
I fooled with Dr. V. This is actually my first time actually, seeing him.
I think his name is Mike.
Yeah, his first name is Mike, but his last name begins with a V. I call him
What
Dr.
is
V.
it?
It's
You know his last name?
I
forgot his name completely.
Yeah, that's why I
asked.
called him Dr. V.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw his name was Michael, but I thought that was cooler. But yeah, I like how he sectioned things out, and he's looking at people as individuals instead of trying to lump everything together. And that's something that I would say that I guess the beings or the powers that actually put out and promote all the things that they promote about health, that they group everybody in one. And I like that. I like that he focused on the intersectionality marginalized groups, because you have a person that has a disability, you have a person that may be of a different race or, culture background. And I think that, I know that, hopefully I'm using the right word. I feel like the industry is definitely I can't even say the word exacerbating certain
exaggerating.
no exacerbating exacerbating
Exacerbating. I don't know that word.
I'm
What does
trying
that
to
mean?
it's so basically they this is it. Just in this little section, it's so much to actually unpack. Is because when they talk about obesity, it's more than just obesity. It's because people, when they make the foods that we eat that creates the unhealthy mindset, they know that it's addictive. And so if they keep you, who's watching this, if they keep us if they keep us addicted, that means that they will forever have a person that's going to continue to buy from them, because it's a drug at that point. I will never forget the things that I see sometimes when I'm around people. I'm like, going to McDonald's early in the morning. Like, I don't even eat McDonald's like that, but I saw a person who had probably like 4 McGriddles. Then they washed it down with like a large Coke. And I'm like, ain't no way that's healthy at all. And then when I look at the person, yes, sometimes you can see that the person is unhealthy, but you may see a guy who got muscles and and slender that's eating the same thing, and he's just as jacked up as the other guy. But that's the thing. They know that they got a customer forever. And so they don't look at the person as an individual. You're just a person that's going to be feeding my pocket. And if they dumb you down to the point to where, like, hey, anybody who says something against me not eating what I want to eat, they are against me and stuff like that. They're helping you create the most toxic mindset that you can actually have, by someone not being able to give you some type of correction and reproof about your daily habits that not only is going to affect you, but it's going to affect your family. If you're not taking care of your body, don't you want to see your grandkids? You don't want to be you don't want to have to be taking medicine 24/7 and can barely walk up steps, can barely go here, or your body's so broken down that you can't even enjoy the rest of your life that you got left. So like, this is like bigger than, oh, you need to eat right. No, it's much larger than that. And that's what I like about this video. I like people to tell the truth. So this is a dope video. And I got a shout out to you for finding that. So
Of course, no problem. I actually forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, I remember. I used to watch this show. I think it still comes on. I don't actually know, but My 600-Pound Life on TLC. Yeah, I used to love that show because it addressed obesity on an individual level, where I got to actually see people change their lives through them developing better habits and then getting the surgery to top it off. So that way they can have a little bit of a nudge towards the right direction as it pertains to their weight and their health. Because Dr. Now, the one that performs these surgeries, he would always tell the patients, you have to have these habits before you get the surgery. So show me proof by losing 100 pounds next month, losing 50 pounds next month, lose about 40 more pounds this month. So I can see that you're on track to at least beginning these habits and forming these habits, so I can know that I'm not wasting my time by giving you this surgery. Because I do believe that, I don't think there's anything wrong with modern medicine coming in to have its way in the process of helping the individual get where they need to be. I think it can become a problem when you depend on that, which is what a lot of the patients who don't end up getting the surgery, because it kicks them out the program, that's what happens with them. They expect the surgery to fix everything, but he's like, no, you have to have the habits, because you're going to be just as big when I give you the surgery, because you never changed your eating habits. You never changed how much you move around. And so there's definitely a lot of factors that go into that. And so I think that's really important. But
Discipline.
yeah, we'll watch a little bit more of the video.
Exacerbate.
Make
problem,
make a problem worse.
bad situation or negative feelings worse.
Exacerbate. I'm gonna start saying that. Word of the day: exacerbate.
Exactly. I could
Word
not
of the
pronounce
day.
it, but I knew what it meant.
I know. Yeah, that's me. A lot of
Yeah.
times, it's like I know what a word is.
Blame my
but
country accent, so.
Nah, it's a hard word
Exacerbate.
to say. It's a hard
See,
word
I
to
still
say.
can't say it, you know.
And Dr. Mike's last name is Vershovsky.
Vershovsky.
See, that's why
Thank
I
you,
called him
Dr. Mike.
That's why I called him Dr. V.
Yeah, just like Dr. Now on My 600 Pound Life. His
Yep.
name is like Dr. Noel or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Or, I'm
Yeah.
gonna butcher it. But yeah, watch a little bit more of the video.
I think there's a lot of different struggles when it comes to being a bit bigger. I have a sister, she's 400 pounds, and she struggles a lot. She has lymphedema, and to shower is really, really hard. So I do think for like an overall happy life and like zero struggle, I think I'd rather be skinny.
I think what we're pointing out here is something that I frequently talk about the channel when people in the past have accused me of being fat phobic, where I'm aiming to not just prolong my patient's life and decrease their risk of disease, but also improve their quality of life. And that's exactly what she's talking about. Being able to be independent, being able to wash yourself, have less strain on your knees, on your hips, developing arthritis early, which means that you can't exercise or move up and down on stairs in your home. And I think saying I would rather be skinny than fat doesn't mean necessarily that you hate yourself if you are in fact plus size. If you're seeking to improve because you're constantly unhappy with yourself, that might be an unhealthy coping mechanism. But if you're seeking to improve because you're seeking growth and you see it from a positive aspect rather than a hate aspect, then that could be a very healthy mechanism.
I had pause it right there. I thought that was a great point, because I think there's a lot of, in this space with this community, specifically like I don't know what to call it, the fat community or something like that.
No, I call it the.
No, don't.
I call it the South community.
Okay.
I'm just talking about people in general.
Oh,
it's
okay.
like, oh, you got a phobia of this. No, this man trying to help you. I come from a different background to where, hey, say what you mean and mean what you say. Hey, no, I'm not finna back off this. Hey, no, this is going to help you, and stop being soft. I'm women and men or whatever. Like people done got away from people really needing to just hear the truth.
I agree. Whew. I was gonna say, when it comes to like choosing to be fat or choosing to be skinny, like that kind of discourse that I hear a lot in this community, it always comes off as like, oh, you hate yourself if you'd rather be skinny. And I don't think that means that, because he's right. When it comes to being bigger, you move around less. You just have a bigger risk of certain things that can be prevented. That does not say that being too skinny as well doesn't come with its own issues, because it absolutely does. I don't know those issues right now, but it absolutely does. And so I think it's important to make those distinctions and understand that you don't have to hate yourself just because you'd rather be a certain weight, because now people are trying not to be, like you said, offensive and everything, because they're trying to say, oh, I'd rather say that I'm trying to get healthy, not I'm trying to reach a certain weight. Well, if you'd rather reach a certain weight, what's wrong with saying that? I don't see an issue with that. But because, we don't want to be controversial or hurt people's feelings in that manner, we'd rather say, I want to get healthy. And I've even said this before too, like I want to be healthy, and I do, but I also want my body to look a certain way. That doesn't mean that I hate the way I look right now. It just means I'm working towards something, and I'm going to construct a plan to help me get there.
Yeah, I definitely like what you said, Mirakle. See, me and Mirakle is like yin and yang. Mirakle is the person she's going to tell you the truth. See, me, I want to hurt your feelings.
Yeah, that's not at all Christ-like. So
I want to hurt your feelings in a way that's going to direct change.
is that with love?
Yes,
you doing it with love?
Yes. A lot of times, I would say 95% of the time, or 90% of the time, I'm actually doing it with, love, because I really do care about people. I care about love. I care about your health. I care about, your future. I mean, I don't know. I ain't gonna say I don't know why. It's the love of Christ, what God, Christ put in me. But I truly want people to, get what they need so they can get to where they're gonna go.
I love that.
I'm not saying that everybody's gonna accept it how I accept it based on how I grew up. People used to tell me like some stuff that would make some of y'all go crawl up in a corner, or or jump off of a stack of books or something and try to hurt yourself. So I just believe in the old school mentality. Hey, just go ahead and rip off the Band-Aid. I don't got time to be like, oh.
Well, I like to soak it in warm water. So.
Well, yeah. See,
I don't rip it off.
Yeah, because you grew up a little bit different, y'all new school kids.
I'm a millennial, so I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway,
would you before we go, I just wanted to do something that's like super random.
Oh my God. What?
I wanted to say how Kevin Hart did when he was talking to a person. Like when she said, yeah, I got for her being so small, and she's like, yeah, I got a sister that's 400, pounds. I wanted to be like, damn,
Sorry. That's what he said.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh God, that is so funny. I gotta find that video. But yes, so we just went through that video of, is obesity a choice? And again, there are a lot of factors that go into it. But at the end of the day, let's just take care of the bodies that God lent us, because that's what's most important here. The conscious way quote of the day for this segment is, he wants you to take care of the body he's lending you so you can be healthy and used for his glory.
Yes.
Amen. But those are our thoughts. So let us know yours in the comments. Next, we're going to talk about glorifying mental illness. Is that what we're doing here? We'll be right back.